What's going on, everyone? So going into this offseason, there was an expectation that the Lakers would pull off some type of trade, right? The Lakers had 3 firsts. They had a bunch of pick swaps. It was like, hey, you got tradable assets. Let's go in. Let's go get several guys. And you heard, Jeremy Grant, Cam Johnson, Wendell Carter Jr., Bruce Brown, all of these guys. But the asking prices were insane. The asking prices were a little ridiculous. And then you just kind of heard everything kind of flatline. No news, no nothing really. Outside of Giannis Valanciunas continues to kind of be brought up with the Lakers because it was a guy that LeBron was willing to take a discount for. Top of LeBron taking a discount for. He's cheap enough to where you could basically just do a 1-for-1 swap on a guy. Maybe unload an extra, young guy, Maxwell Lewis or something to incentivize the Wizards. Plus, the Wizards are a team that the Lakers have made multiple trades with in the last few years. Usually trade with organizations that you've built that rapport with, that you built that relationship with. So, makes sense, right? But we had the press conference yesterday. And in that press conference, Rob Pelinka really hit on trades. Right? Obviously, he was brought up, right? He didn't just go, yeah, so, yesterday was great. But the trademark, no, it was part of the press conference. But he made it a point to get across that, no, we are actively trying to make trades. We are in the market. We are willing and will trade both firsts if it's a move that pertains to Lakers' continued excellence, right? Is how he's phrasing it. But basically what he's saying, what that summarizes to, is that if there's a trade that's available that makes sense, that actually puts us in contention status and puts us in the argument with these other teams and makes us a top 3 to 5 seed, then we'll pull off the trade. We'll do that deal. Right? If we can get the right piece, we'll do that all day. He also said he's willing to trade 1 first, or, not saying, that's it, we'll only trade 1 first. No, but he's willing to give up a first. Could be 2 separate trades, but a first for a marginal move, if that marginal move or piece makes sense, right? So basically he's saying hey, we'll give up a first for Jeremy Grant. We'll give up a first for Cam Johnson. We'll give up a first for some of these. We're not giving up 2 firsts for a guy that makes us, maybe at best slightly better, right? Rob Pelinka said, hey, we'll do multiple deals. We'll trade. We're open for business. He just put out a big neon sign for the world to see. I believe that Rob Pelinka did that deliberately. I think that all these teams have these insane asking prices. Everyone's aware of this. There's all these fans. There's all this media, right? For example, Portland reporters and insiders have criticized the Portland Trailblazers for their asking price to Jeremy Grant. And are like, dude, the Lakers are willing to take his contract. You should just give them Jeremy Grant, right? Just to get off of his contract because it doesn't make any sense. You made a mistake, and the Lakers, Portland's perceiving it as the Lakers are foolish enough to take on that contract. Give it to him, right? Whatever you can get is just icing in the cake on that, right? But what Rob Pelinka's doing is by putting this out there, it now starts to drum up bad noise again. Said, hey, we're going to be doing our due diligence. We're going to continue to monitor trades. We're going to continue to push hard for trades. If we can upgrade the roster, we're going to upgrade the roster. But what happened as soon as he went and said all that stuff? Boom. Now you see all the reports again, all of the conversation again. The attention to the Lakers trade just got re-injected into the spotlight. That's good. Because now that kind of puts pressure on teams to hey, we need to get rid of this guy. We need to see this guy, right? Kind of could open the door for more negotiations, more conversations, right? Now, I don't think anything's going to happen right now. I would love for something to happen before the trade deadline, but I do think that this is more of just a long-term play. Put it out there. Teams when they're starting ready to make the decisions, pick up the phone and call the Lakers. Hey, we're ready to do the deal for first. Ready to do that. I think this is one to kind of ease Laker fans in their minds of Lakers need to make a trade. They need to do this. They need to do that. Hey, we're trying here, right? He didn't use the CBA excuse. He didn't use any excuses. He just said there's nothing available. I've said that. Jeremy Grant is not worth 2 firsts. Cam Johnson is not worth 2 firsts. So many people are worried about Zach LaVine and his injury history. The most games Cam Johnson has played in a season ever in his entire career is 66 games. Jeremy Grant is only playing like 60 games a year, right? Like, so many people are worried about injuries of this guy and that guy. All these guys are available for a reason. All of these guys, these same guys, Bruce Brown, Jeremy Grant, all these guys, they were all available at the trade deadline. And nobody wanted them. Why? Because all these asking prices are insane. I've said over and over again, I believe that the Lakers will make a trade if that trade presents itself. You don't just make a trade just to make a trade. You can get worse. You can put yourself in a worse situation. Lakers go and trade all of their assets to go get Jeremy Grant, and that doesn't work. You're stuck. No one's taking Jeremy Grant just to out of the kindness of their heart. No one's taking Jeremy Grant on a, hey, we'll get you next time type thing. It's not happening, right? You have to be very calculated in the moves that you decide to make. You can't just unload or take on guys, right? He did say that, look, the new CBA has people, has organizations. He said the new system. He didn't say the new CBA, but basically what he was talking about, new system. That teams are a little more cautious, right? There's not as many guys as available. Teams aren't willing to take on salary like they once were, which is true, right? Because you don't want to get into that, like, you're just shy of the first apron. You don't want to take on more salary to now where you're in the first apron, so now there's all these restrictions, right? Like, people look at it as an excuse, but it's the reality. It's not an excuse, it's the truth. It's the facts, right? And so many people are like, man, like, I've seen comments. I've even gotten comments where people are like, man, you might be the only person that takes Rob Pelinka's word for it. No, it's not just me taking his word at face value. It's understanding the new CBA. It's understanding the way teams are operating. It's understanding that no trades have happened. All these teams we've heard all offseason, not just the Lakers, all these teams have wanted this player and that player and this player. The Knicks have been trying to trade for Walker Kessler and all these other guys, right? I've been trying to make moves. They're still trying to make moves because Mitchell Robinson got hurt. No one's done anything outside of the DeJounte Murray trade, which is something that was a fumble. That was absolutely, you fumbled the bag on that one, Lakers. That is frustrating. Outside of that, you have an overpaid, as far as like asset-wise go, trade for Mikal Bridges. And then you have sign and trade deals. Again, all the guys that were available 6 months ago are all still available. Why? Because it doesn't make any sense for any of these teams to take them on for the price. And then the teams that can, they don't want to just take on salary anymore. Right? There used to be teams that would just take Jeremy Grant. Give us a second. We'll take Jeremy Grant for 3 years. Like, we're not going anywhere for 3 years. Teams aren't willing to do that anymore because of the new CBA. Because it's like, man, now we're in this tax. And again, it's not an excuse. It's not me. It's the reality. It's the truth. Right? And as far as Rob Pelinka going to make a trade, because people are like, he's never going to make a trade. Da-da-da. He's made a trade every single year he's been in office, except for last year. Outside of last season, he's made a deal in every single season. So again, like, to think that he won't make some type of trades, to think that he won't pull the trigger on something, he absolutely will. He's done it every year. His track record shows that he will. Right now, is it going to be a good trade? That's where, if you want to question that, sure. But I mean, the last trade he did with the not last year, but the previous year, that trade deadline, he cooked, in my opinion. That dude absolutely cooked. Didn't work out. We got to the conference finals, got ran through by Denver, but it did. Considering we were started 2-10, we were an absolute dumpster fire to, like, he put together a team that got us to the conference finals. It's a pretty good turnaround. But look, Rob Pelinka, again, I do believe will pull off a trade. Is there hold up because of the new CBA? Are teams a little reluctant now than usual? Yes, absolutely. Again, like, why would it? Again, there are restrictions for first apron teams and the way that they can make trades. That in and of itself is enough. The Lakers can't just trade with anybody. They can't. Like so many people, like, yeah, you just, no, do you understand the way that the aprons work? It's not Rob Pelinka making up excuses. It's the facts. If you don't take my word for it, don't even take Rob Pelinka's word for it. Go look it up yourself. Right? First apron teams, the way that they can make trades and how they can't take back more salary. The Lakers can't take back more salary. Right? Like a year ago, the Lakers could have done a deal where, maybe they took back Jeremy Grant and it's like, oh, hey, we have this bad contract we want you to take also, and we'll do the deal for one first. Lakers could have done, sure, give it to us, no problem. And Lakers could have done it, just paid the luxury tax, and it's fine. You can't do that anymore. And then if you move into the second apron, which the Lakers are $45,000 away from the second apron, that's it, you're cooked. You're cooked. Right? Now you can't do any moves. You have all these restrictions, not only for this season, but for future seasons. Like, it becomes a mess. So, yes, is Rob Pelinka correct when he says teams are now reluctant to do certain things that they were willing to do a couple years? Absolutely. A couple years ago, teams would give us all this salary, give us all that. No. Now, it's like, do we really want to pay this guy for another 3 years? And the Lakers have to look at it that way. Again, Jeremy Grant, do you really want to be paying him, overpaying him, not just paying him, overpaying him for the next few years? And now you're capped out, doing all it's just, and you don't have flexibility, you can't do any moves, you're stuck with him, you're stuck with the team, you're stuck with the roster, and you have no picks to trade? Again, you can always be worse. You can always be in a worse situation. But I think that this was kind of like the bat signal to the rest of the league. You're starting to see all the narratives, all the conversations, all the chirping once again. And I think that that's good. Puts the Lakers back in the trade conversations. Now you have fans for other teams. Now you have fans in Lakers Nation. Now you have, journalists and stuff diving into like, oh, we should trade for Rui Hachimura. Like, just starts to put pressure on these other organizations. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think, this definitely kind of putting the bat signal out there, kind of put some pressure on some of these organizations? Do you think, it doesn't change anything, it doesn't change much? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.